John Travolta's name invokes memories of an era defined by disco fever and Hollywood glamour. With 2 Academy Award nominations and a fortune of $250 million, his story is one of dreams realized through perseverance and raw talent. Born on February 18, 1954 in Englewood, New Jersey, as the youngest of 6 children, Travolta's humble beginnings were far from the glamorous lifestyle that would eventually define him. His family faced financial struggles, with his father working as a tire salesman and his mother, a former performer, teaching high school. Despite these hardships, it was his mother's belief in the power of talent over circumstance that became the cornerstone of John's resolve. She encouraged him to follow his dreams, reminding him that the stage doesn't care about wealth. It cares about spirit and talent. That belief set John on a path that would take him to global stardom. Struggles. Before stardom, the price of ambition. John Travolta's journey to fame wasn't an easy one. At just 16 years old, he faced a critical choice that would shape the course of his life: continue his high school education or pursue a career in acting. With his parents' blessing, John dropped out of Dwight Morrow High School and moved to New York City with little more than ambition and a few dollars to his name. His early years in the city were marked by rejection, scraping by with low-paying jobs and performing in minor roles on stage. He toured with the production of Grease, not as the lead, but as a background player. Travolta's life in those early years was a constant battle for survival, one where failure felt more likely than success. Yet he clung to the belief his mother had instilled in him. Either he would succeed, or he would become a cautionary tale. The breakthrough. From unknown to icon. Travolta's breakthrough came in 1975 with the TV show Welcome Back, Kotter, where he played the lovable Vinnie Barbarino. This role catapulted him to fame, with girls screaming his name and magazine covers plastering his face. He was no longer invisible. The 21-year-old Travolta was suddenly the center of attention. His newfound fame gave him the freedom to pursue music and other opportunities. His single, Let Her In, reached the top 10 on the Billboard Hot 100, marking a pivotal moment in his career. For the first time, John felt that the weight of poverty and struggle had lifted. But while fame brought him recognition, it also came with its own burdens. As his star rose, so did the demands of an industry eager to shape him into an icon. Love and loss, a devastating turn. Amidst his rise to stardom, John Travolta's personal life took a tragic turn. In 1976, while filming The Boy in the Plastic Bubble, Travolta met Diana Hyland, an actress 18 years his senior. Despite the age gap, the two fell deeply in love, but their romance was short-lived. Diana was battling breast cancer. She passed away in John's arms on March 27, 1977, just days before Travolta's fame would explode with the release of Saturday Night Fever. John's grief was overwhelming, and the weight of losing Diana while ascending to stardom left him in emotional turmoil. He continued promoting Saturday Night Fever, but the joy of success was forever tainted by the sorrow of his loss. This painful experience would haunt him, shaping his career and the man he would become. Saturday Night Fever. Defining an era, the release of Saturday Night Fever in 1977 marked a cultural explosion that would forever define John Travolta. His portrayal of Tony Manero, a young man from Brooklyn with dreams of escaping his mundane life through disco dancing, became an iconic symbol of the 1970s. Travolta's white polyester suit and confident dance moves captured the spirit of the era, making him a star. The soundtrack, featuring the Bee Gees, sold millions, and the film grossed nearly $400 million worldwide. Travolta earned his first Academy Award nomination for his performance, solidifying his place as one of Hollywood's brightest stars. But behind the glitz and glamour, the pain of losing Diana still lingered in his heart. Fame and grief were inextricably linked, and despite his success, the personal cost of his rise to stardom was deeply felt. The 1980s, the fall and the struggle. The 1980s proved to be a turbulent decade for John Travolta. While he continued to star in films like Urban Cowboy and Two of a Kind, the public's interest began to wane. The star who had once been the face of Hollywood was now struggling to reclaim his former glory. His 1983 reunion with Olivia Newton-John in Two of a Kind was a commercial failure. and the sequel to Saturday Night Fever, Staying Alive, was critically panned. The 1980s saw Travolta turning down major roles, including American Gigolo and Splash, both of which became iconic films with other actors in the lead. As a result, Travolta's career hit a downward spiral, and by the end of the decade, he was no longer seen as the leading man he once was. Hollywood had moved on, and John was left in the shadows of his former fame, Resurrection, Pulp Fiction, and A New Beginning. Just when it seemed that John Travolta's career was over, Quentin Tarantino called. In 1994, Tarantino cast Travolta in the role of Vincent Vega, a hitman in Pulp Fiction, a film that would redefine not only Travolta's career but the entire Hollywood landscape. The role brought Travolta his second Academy Award nomination and proved that legends do not fade, they hibernate. Travolta's performance in Pulp Fiction was a revelation, reminding audiences of his incredible talent. He once again became one of Hollywood's highest-paid actors, starring in films like Get Shorty, Face/Off, and Primary Colors. For a decade, Travolta enjoyed a second chance at stardom, earning $20 million per film. The rise from the ashes was nothing short of miraculous, a testament to his resilience and determination. Personal tragedy. Loss strikes again. In 1991, John Travolta married actress Kelly Preston, and together they had 3 children, Jett, Ella, and Benjamin. For a while, it seemed that John had found stability and peace after years of personal turmoil. However, in 2009, tragedy struck again. John's son Jett, who suffered from autism and seizures, died unexpectedly at the age of 16 after suffering a seizure while on vacation. The loss was devastating, and John and Kelly struggled to cope with the heartache. 1 year later, they welcomed their 3rd child, Benjamin, into the world, bringing some comfort to their grieving hearts. Yet, life had one more tragedy in store. In 2020, Kelly Preston passed away after a 2-year battle with breast cancer. For John, the pain of losing another beloved woman to cancer, his first love Diana and now his wife Kelly, was unbearable. But even through this heartbreak, John continued to endure. Endurance and legacy. The final chapter today, at 70 years old, John Travolta lives at his estate in Ocala, Florida, surrounded by his family and his planes. His career has faded, with his recent films earning little at the box office. Yet what remains is his legacy of resilience. Travolta's net worth of $250 million is a reminder of the heights he reached, but it is his ability to survive loss, disappointment, and rejection that defines him. He continues to raise his children, support the Jett Travolta Foundation, and honor the memories of those he has lost. Hollywood may have forgotten him, but the world still remembers the man who once brought us joy, laughter, and unforgettable performances. John Travolta's story is one of survival, endurance, and love, proving that even when the music stops, we can still dance.